Hello everybody, my name's Hocus Pocus and welcome back to the Minecraft Let's Play. This is episode 29 of the series and we're kicking things off today in the slime farm. So I was just taking a little look around here and I noticed that we had a couple slimes down here, so I killed them. Also, I actually noticed we had a few slime balls over here, so they were just positioned something like this. So it seems to me that our farm is actually working on its own without the need for iron golems, which is interesting. I do know that the slimes used to have a tendency to jump towards corners. I don't think they do anymore, if I'm not mistaken, but if our farm's working without the need for iron golems, then we should be looking at a good efficiency level once we do add them in. I'm quickly going to climb upstairs to show you how much progress we've made on this thing. So let me get across the gap here if I can. There we go. So you can see now there's a huge dark area at the end of our slime farm, and I've actually knocked out quite a lot of stone now. So we'll keep this process going. As I say, I usually do this off camera because it's not very interesting work. But I'll keep working at it for you guys, and hopefully in one of the upcoming episodes we can clear all this space out and actually get this thing built, which would be nice. So now that we've got that out of the way, I'm going to head up towards our enchanting station area because there's something I want to do in this episode that I haven't done yet in this world. So it's not going to be a repeat of something we've already built, and I'm just going to build it again closer to our new area. In today's episode, we're actually going to go ahead and build a melon/pumpkin farm. So I'm still trying to figure out a location for it. I was thinking that maybe this wall would be suitable, but I'm yet to make a 100% decision. In terms of the farm, it's going to be quite a simple design. I'm going to try and design it all myself without looking online for help, so that'll be interesting. So what I'll do, guys, is I'll pop off camera for a second. I'll have a little look around our base here, and I'll make a decision on what will be the best place for this farm to go. And once I've done that, I'll be right back. Alright guys, we're back, and as you can see behind me, I've dug a little area out for our farm. It's going to probably extend backwards a little bit behind me, so the wall behind me is probably going to get knocked a bit further back so that we can have a few more crops in here. But as you can see, I've got a very basic setup here for this farm. I said that I wasn't going to look at any tutorials, so I'm using my brain, and unfortunately, as I tell you in a lot of episodes, I'm not the greatest with redstone, and this simple design here is pretty much all I can come up with. So what will happen is the pumpkins here will grow onto these patches here, so there's 9 in each row, and once they grow, you can flick a lever that will, when we've wired it correctly, power all of these pistons here, and they will push the pumpkins and break them. Then the pumpkins will either land on the tilled soil patch here or the plain dirt patch here, and we will run a cart with a hopper on it underneath that will then collect the drops through the block. So it's very, very basic redstone, very basic setup in total. So what we're going to do is we're probably going to mirror a similar pattern here on this side so that we can have 2 rows of crops in the middle, another set of pistons here, and another line of dirt here. So if you're wondering, if you dig out a piece of dirt, I have the required water under the pistons to saturate the soil, and that's basically how it works. So I was going to wait around here for a pumpkin to grow so that I could show you guys exactly how it works, but it's taken forever, even with a million torches. Yeah, so I've basically been begging these guys to grow, but they won't listen. So unfortunately, I've just had to describe it to you, but I'm sure you get the idea. The piston breaks the pumpkin lands either on the dirt or the tilled soil, and it will then be picked up by a hopper minecart. Very basic stuff. So let me continue with this off camera, guys, and once I'm done, we can join each other again and take a look. Catch you in a second. Can you guys believe this? So seconds after I go off camera, I begin building a little bit more of the farm, and a pumpkin decides to grow, and not only does it have the audacity to grow seconds after I wanted it to, it had the audacity to grow on the wrong side. I mean, sometimes this game, I'm sure, is just out to troll. Oh well, let me break this guy, and I can quickly give you a demonstration. So let's just pretend it grew here. Lever, piston, breaks the pumpkin. Pumpkin lands here, and eventually we will send a minecart round with a hopper on it that will collect this guy and return it to our collection area. So very, very simple, nice and easy. Hope you can understand a little bit clearer now. And thank you to the Minecraft gods for giving me a little bit of a punch in the gut there with that one. Alright guys, let me continue building this thing and I'll catch you in a second. Hello, we're back. And as you can see, we've made quite a bit of progress here with the melon/pumpkin farm. So we have these individual modules here which contain 9 pumpkins in each row, or 9 melons of course if they're melons. So that means we have 9, 18, 27, 36 pumpkins in total. And we also have 9, 18, 27, 36 melons in total. So I've managed to collect enough seeds to plant 36 of each crop. And I've placed in the redstone in between the pistons here. So as soon as I wire all of this together, it should run as intended. Where we'll press a button, the pistons will all fire simultaneously, knock the melons and pumpkins, breaking them. And then we can send a car underground which will just run underneath these blocks and just collect the drops for us and bring it back to a collection zone, which I'll either place here or at the end down there somewhere. So things are looking good at the moment. Obviously we're going to have to finish up the farm itself, the function, and then we have to design the farm because, you know, function comes first, form comes second. So you design the redstone aspect first and then you think about how it's going to look. Because in essence, the redstone is the most important part. As long as the farm works, who cares what it looks like, right? I mean, obviously we care, but getting the farm working is a priority rather than getting the design looking good. So now that we have everything up and running here, pretty much, you can see another pumpkin just grow here. I'm gonna have to think about getting the cart installed, and then after I have the cart installed, I'm gonna have to think about wiring all of this up to a button or a lever or anything I want really, and then we can take a look at designing this thing and making it look appealing to the eye. So just as a precursor, sorry, I'm getting lost with a couple of my words here. Just as a precursor, I'm thinking of just running glass along the front here. I'll probably have a few blocks to break up the glass, but I mainly want this to be a farm that we can just look into and see in action as we use it, which will be nice. So I'm going to think about making it as open as possible. We're probably going to follow a similar theme to the theme that we used around here. So we've got this natural look with the stone brick and some of the dark oak. I really like that combination of blocks, and then we're going to throw in some redstone lights too. So let me do a bit more work on this, guys, and once I have done that, we'll jump back in and see what it looks like. Alright guys, so here I am again. I'm just putting in the last few rail tracks now for our collection system. So this is just to show you what I was doing really and the idea that I had for the collection system. So in every row I would place 2 powered rails to keep the cart moving, and in between that we'll have some regular tracks just to run the cart underneath the blocks where our pumpkins and melons will be. If you're wondering why I'm using this diorite, it's just so that if I'm digging around here and I run across some diorite in the area, I can be positive that this is where I've placed my tracks before. So I don't really want to be digging it up if I find it, if you understand what I mean. It's kind of just a marker for safety. So that's that done now. So we still, oops, probably shouldn't have dug into there. Let me just fix that a second. We still need to figure out where the cart's going to sit before it goes off on its journey, but we can figure that out at a later date. So let me just get out of our little box here, jump up here nice and easily. I'll just leave that open so we remember where we were. And as you can see, I've actually finished the same design under each of the cells here, so exactly the same thing. 2 powered rails per row. And we can actually go ahead now and fill this in because we don't need to be down there anymore, and the track should maintain and operate itself once we have the wiring set up. So I just wanted to bring you guys back in to show you that, just in case you were wondering how I was going to set up the minecart system for collection underneath the blocks. So I don't know when the update was that allowed blocks to be collected using a hopper minecart through a block. I think it's been in there for a while though, so I'm positive at this stage it's not a bug, which hopefully it isn't, and that means it won't get patched out of the game and break our farm. But for now, I'm positive that we should be fine, and that's the way things are going to work. So we've obviously ran into this area of the cave here, which is a slight issue because I did want to put the controls for this thing somewhere down here. So maybe what we're going to have to do is just come out here with some some regular stone, and just fill in the gap so that we can make our way to the end here without falling in a pit. So I'll just do that once whilst I've got you guys here a second. And then I can show you what I intend to do in terms of controlling this farm. So if we just have a solid wall here at the end of the corridor, so as you can see, we have this corridor that runs down the side of the farm. So the controls are probably going to go on this wall here. I'll have one button which will fire the pistons, and that's obviously just all that needs is a redstone pulse, which is fine for a button. And again, I'll have a second button here that you press, and that will operate a powered rail, which will fire the cart along its journey. And then once it makes it all the way to the end over in that corner there, it will return straight back in a direct route to where it begins, and we can then reset the track for the next use. So I'm going to get to work on some of that. Setting up the redstone controls and setting up the minecart to work in its correct format. And once I've done that, I'll bring you guys back and we can then finish the episode by designing the farm. Alright everybody, we're back, and I've set up a lot of stuff here. So if you remember rightly, in the last clip we came and took a look at the completed farm, I think without wiring. I can't remember, that was actually yesterday now in real time. So I believe we looked at the farm in its current state without wiring, but I've gone ahead now and finished up all the wiring, finished up all of the mine tracks, and it has functionality now, which is great. So we're only missing one step, and that is the design. I'll probably save that for next episode now, guys, just as a little bit of a pre-warning, as I'm running short on time here, and I'm actually falling behind on my recording schedule as well, as I'm trying to keep things daily. I'm falling behind a little bit here in terms of getting a video out for today. And I know a few of you guys have mentioned to me, don't be too stressed over doing daily episodes. And I know I shouldn't be because I'm still such a small channel. But at the same time, I want to keep you guys entertained. I want to keep some form of consistency. So I'm going to try and get this out today. It might be a little bit shorter, but I aim for around 15 minutes plus anyway. And I think I'll probably make that here for you. So let me just demonstrate to you what the farm does before we finish things up here. So I've got two buttons on the wall that I'll eventually make look a bit prettier. So we got one here and one there. The first button here fires off all the pistons. As you can see, they all go along like that. I haven't bothered syncing them up or anything because it would have taken too much work. So they fire 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in some sort of order like that. But they're not too far behind each other. And as you can see, all the pumpkins here have broken. They're broken. The melon here is broken, and the melon here. So then when you press this button here, the cart makes its way along the tracks, and we'll just watch the entities here as they float around. And you'll see they start to disappear. That's because the hopper cart underneath this farm is making its way along the tracks that we laid earlier in the video. And as it does, it collects any drops that it goes below. So there you go. It's going to come beneath these pumpkins here now and collect them up. There you go. And then we'll see in a second the cart actually rises up here, takes its route along the back there and back down. And once it's done, it comes back to the point that it started at. And it will just unload all of its drops into this hopper, which we can later connect to a chest. So I'm actually very pleased with how this turned out. And as you can see, just from that small harvest there, we get 18 melons and 7 pumpkins. So this farm's going to work wonders for us, I feel like. I mentioned earlier that we've got 36 melon spots and 36 pumpkin spots. So once they're fully grown, we could be expecting quite a big harvest here, and maybe too much for the cart to collect in one round. Who knows? So as I just mentioned, I'm really pleased with how this functions, and it's all functioning correctly right now. So all we need to do to finish things up here is work out a design. If you wanted to quickly take a look at the redstone with me, the button here to fire the pistons is very simple. It runs into a wire, which runs along the back here, like so. Oh, I'm destroying our track here, so I shouldn't go too far, but it does the same thing along the whole farm. So as you can see, it comes around the back of the the cells where the melons and pumpkins are growing, and then on each divide it breaks off into the center of the piston lines, and it powers the block. This redstone will power the block beneath it, which in turn powers the pistons on either side. So it's very simple, very basic setup, something you could easily achieve in your own world if you want to. I'm not gonna go into too much of a tutorial for it because, as I said, it's quite self-explanatory, and each cell is wired in exactly the same fashion. So as you can see, the cart will start its journey by heading off down this way, does a small turn back on itself before making its way underneath all of the cells, and then on its return journey it will come back up across the top of the farm as I showed you earlier. It will eventually find its way here, and it comes back down, and here you'll see the straight track runs into the bend, and if that is the case, the cart will actually follow a straight pattern rather than turning the corner. So that's a way you can make the carts return to its original position without running a loop of it on a track, which is a nice little trick for you guys if you're building something like this. So let me get the hell out of here so I can finish up this video. As I mentioned, be on the lookout for next episode. We'll finish up the design for this farm and probably get a couple of other small things done in that episode as well, because it's not going to take us an entire 20 minutes, I hope, to clean this place up. But I'm really pleased with how things are coming along so far in the cave, guys. We got our enchanting setup just behind me, and now we've got our melon and pumpkin farm, which will be working in... Well, it's working now, but it'll be complete in the next episode, which is great stuff. So, thank you very much for watching, guys. If you enjoyed, be sure to leave a like down below. Drop a comment with any feedback you may have for me, any ideas you may have for me, anything like that. Just leave a comment. I read them all. Subscribe for future content, and if you want to go the extra mile, there is the bell notification icon to get notifications from YouTube when my videos go live. Once again, guys, thank you very much for watching and being with me today. Take care, have a good rest of your day, and I'll catch you all in the next episode. Bye bye.